Origin of boxing. Before we start, do me a favor and hit that subscribe button so I can continue doing awesome videos like these. Bloodstained faces, shattered bones, and gruesome wounds. Boxing is one of the world's foremost sports that can make or break the most rugged athletes in the world. Arguably the most consecrated stage among all sports, to establish that the boxing ring isn't meant for the timid ones out there. The boxing we know and love today has millions of followers all around the globe. Undoubtedly, it is among the preeminent fighting sports in recent times. On top of a stretched canvas surrounded by 4 ring posts, numerous epic sagas of courage and valor have been witnessed, where a single exquisitely timed punch or a catastrophic error can decide a fight. Prodigies seldom stick around for long in this sport, but every now and then a legend rewrites the history, leaving the world awestruck. Boxing, also famously known as the sweet science, comprises offense and defense through a combination of punches, brisk footwork, and silky upper body movement. 2 fighters jump into the ring with the only goal of knocking one another out through vicious combos or winning by judges' decision. Throughout boxing history, several all-time greats of the game have left their mark on the sport. Intimidating characters like the legendary Muhammad Ali, all-powerful Roberto Duran, and heavyweight icon Rocky Marciano are some of the most celebrated names of boxing. And the list goes on. These gentlemen have reached the heights of fame and glory inside the iconic squared ring, overcoming rigorous training routines and tough opponents, surrounded by the pledge of limitless possibilities. The history of boxing dates back to the history of mankind, from the primitive Greek civilizations initially lifting their fists up in combat sports to the dazzling and glamorous venues of Las Vegas. Boxing has been inscribed in the books of human history. Ancient history, Greeks, and the Olympics. The first ever advent of boxing in history is reflected in Sumerian artifacts discovered in Iraq, emerging from the 3rd millennium BC. Matching ancient artifacts were also found stemming from the Mesopotamian kingdoms of Babylonia and Assyria. These engravings depicted a couple of men exchanging blows with swathed fists for the first time ever in the history of the sport. Boxing was ultimately perpetuated by ancient Greeks and quickly became a popular sport loved by those people. Back in 688 BC, it was introduced for the first time as an Olympic sport during the 23rd Olympiad. Back in time, boxers wore leather strips to wrap their fists for protection. Fights weren't played in rounds format, as compared to the modern version. Instead, contestants fought until either of them forfeited or couldn't manage to continue. Weight divisions were non-existent, which meant that fighters of all sizes and weights could face anyone, with the larger challengers naturally being more dominating. The long-established boxing stance was developed, with the dominant leg placed somewhat forward and the supreme hand slightly outstretched as a guard, which would be moved back and forth to strike. The London Prizefighter Series. With the fall of the Greek Empire, boxing also went out of the scene and later re-emerged during the early 16th century in England when bare-knuckle boxing, a newer version of the sport, was born. Fighters mostly competed for prize money and were called prize fighters. The first ever recorded event of a bare-knuckle fight in London was in 1681 when the second Duke of Albemarle, Christopher Monk, arranged a bout between 2 of his employees. Fast forward several years, the maiden champion of English bare-knuckle boxing was named when James Figg won the championship in 1719. This was the time when the term boxing became more prominent. Jack Broughton, another bare-knuckle boxing title holder, introduced the first ever set of rules for boxing in 1743 in order to ensure the safety and maintain the health of prize fighters. Under this new set of rules, if a fighter was knocked down and couldn't manage to get up to their feet within 30 seconds, the bout was called off. Several rules and regulations from the rule set of Broughton are implemented in modern-day boxing, including the prohibited use of kicking, head-butting, biting, eye-gouging, holding the ropes, and hitting opponents when they are floored. The Marquess of Queensberry rules. Established by John Chambers, the popular Marquess of Queensberry boxing rules were issued under the support of the Marquess of Queensberry. These rules stated that fights should be fair, and standing up within a square ring traditionally 24 feet across. Matches consisted of 3 rounds of 3 minutes with a rest interval of 1 minute between rounds. If a participant was knocked down, a 10 count was awarded, and any type of wrestling or grappling was entirely prohibited. The introduction of gloves for boxing also massively revamped the sport and made it a safer outing. Protective boxing gloves also increased the time of bouts, and boxers were forced to devise their strategy. Just like attacking, good defense became a vital asset, and defensive moves like bobbing, counterpunching, and weaving came into play. Modern-day pro boxing. Modern-day boxing is preceded by a rich history of classic boxing. During the 19th century, the sport became extremely popular, introducing the world to several sports legends and heroes that have fascinated fans and admirers throughout the world. Today, boxing is played, practiced, and followed in a big part of the world and has seen its popularity reach unprecedented levels. The United States, Russia, and Mexico are among the countries where people take boxing as part of their daily routine. Boxers have also got more fame with big names like Manny Pacquiao and Floyd Mayweather, entertaining and inspiring millions of fans across the globe. Prize money has also increased, and the sport has become more commercial with lucrative marketing and sponsorship deals, making the boxers able to bring home millions of dollars while appearing for a fight. Boxing has also made its way into Hollywood with classic films, including the Rocky series, $1 Million Baby, Southpaw, and Cinderella Man. Final word: boxing has come a long way, and is one of the oldest sports around, and it is here to stay for long. Today, boxing is followed and loved by fans from all age brackets, and not only offers great entertainment, but also provides motivation to get in shape. If you are a boxing junkie, enjoy the rich history of boxing and keep loving it.